And we are going to be talking about the pineal gland today. We're going to be talking about your energy body. We're going to be talking about ASEA. We're going to be talking about business a little bit, about everything. We're going to get into all kinds of cool stuff. Um, I think this is really like cutting edge idea. This is a cutting edge 5D, idea because it bridges spirituality with finances and uh, and just cool people like Danielle. And she's going to tell us. She just came back from like a place that I really want to go to. I mean, just because like I heard a lot about hydrogen energy. I don't know if you find anything out about that? Do they use hydrogen
They
energy?
do a lot of like hydraulic energy. They have a lot of waterfalls, and they do a lot of geothermal also. Like it's
Geothermal. Uh-huh.
fascinating, like work going through that country. Yeah.
So Danielle just got back from Iceland, which is on my bucket list of places to go. Along with it's another place I really want to. I've always wanted to go is Nunavik, which is Arctic Quebec.
Oh.
And they say you can go on places that nobody's ever stepped before. I mean,
Oh, wild. Wow. Like you're into the wild. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Polar bears, fishing
Mhm.
like off the charts and all that good stuff.
Oh,
So
nice.
okay, so yeah, so I'm sorry, I've had way too much coffee, and
You're
just stop me if I start blathing. But yeah, go ahead. Tell us about your experience, and tell us about the pineal gland and about the energy body, all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I gotta share. So I was telling you when you and I were together, we were talking about, my neighbor is Amr Desai. He's a guru that came to the US back in the 60s and was one of the first to bring yogic philosophy, Eastern philosophy to the West. Founded an institute here, huge institute, and his daughter, interestingly, she grew up in this ashram. So she grew up very much with like Eastern philosophy. And I think kind of as a result of that, really pushed out and said, no, like she really got into the Western world. She went to Amsterdam. She got a PhD in psychology. And then life kind of brought her back around to the yogic teachings through a journey. Her name is Kamini Desai. And I met her back when I was healing from my brain injury. Okay, so just a little backstory. I think context is always helpful. I met her when she was writing a book about yoga nidra, which is a guided meditation, and she needed like to cite some research. And because my degree's in biology, I'm very good at finding research papers, and I could only work like 20 minutes a day, so I was helping her with that during my injury, and was fascinated by meditation. And when I finished, she gifted me a training. She said, "Why don't you come down? They have an ashram here in Florida. Come down, you can meet my dad and, do a yoga nidra training." And that's kind of how I found my way to, where I live now. But I was blown away because the yogic teachings, like what I love about them is, these are yogis spent thousands of years pondering questions like, if there was one single truth that, if known, solves all problems, like what is that truth? And they kind of came out with, the truth is to realize that you're more than your thoughts, that you're actually the witness that is there before, during, and after every thought. And they developed meditation, yoga nidra, as a tool to help you get to that space where you dip below the thoughts. So you can actually experience your true nature, and resting back as witness. And so for a long time, for the last 8 years, like I meditate daily so I can get into that space and cultivate, the spiritual side of my life. And this trip to Iceland, Kamini said to me, gosh, her dad's birthday was last October. She was in town for it. And she said, I'm doing a yoga therapy training in Iceland. You should come. And I'm like, what's yoga therapy? Like, I didn't really understand what it was. But I said, I trust you. And like, I've always wanted to go to Iceland, kind of like you. I was like, that's a bucket list. So let's go. And the first 5 days I just went, I hung out, I got to see beautiful country. It's like the land of fire and ice is what they call it. And you go around the corner and you're seeing like another beautiful scene, like just steam coming from the ground because there's hot springs, or like this gorgeous waterfall on the side of the road. And they're very spiritual up there. Like they believe in elves, and like they will build roads around where these elves live. And they'll bring in, psychics and mediums, and like, it's just part of society there. It's just different. And I learned a lot about the Icelandic people, and the weather changes on a dime. Like it was changing every like 2 seconds. You blinked and you were raining, and then it was sunny, and then Anyway, so I had a wonderful time. And then I went to a place called Solomir. It's a very spiritual place there. And that's where we had this retreat. And here's what I want to share, because I feel like, I mean, every time I go and work with comedy, I feel like I get secrets to life, like this first realization that you're more than your thoughts. I mean, when you realize that, like, that's everything. um, and, with this training, they talked about, like, the yogis believe in different energy, different bodies. Okay. So they say, like, you come out, if imagine it like you've got the ocean, and that's source, that's God, that's the divine. And then you're an expression of that. So you come out as like a wave. Okay. And so now you're in the land of form and you can like interact with things. And what the yogis say is that in that there's like different matter is created, like that energy has to become solid, and it does it through like 5 bodies of consciousness. They call it the bliss body, the wisdom body, the mental body, the energy body, and the physical body. And so in yoga nidra, in meditation, we're all getting down into that bliss body, like that part of us that's closest to our source nature. And then, the wisdom body is where intuition happens. The mental body is, the mind. It's where you start to create the ego and the self-identity. And then you've got the energy body, which the yogis talk about the chakra system and how that all, connects in with us. And then it manifests in the physical being that is us. So with that context, the yoga therapy basically says, look, let's get into the physical body, because the physical body can talk to us through energy, through sensation. And if we allow it to talk to us, we can release things. And so they believe that, everything's energy. We have emotions, they run through us. And a lot of times, they're just wanting to run like through a tube, but we block them, maybe an emotion of grief, or like for me, my brain injury, right? A big trauma happened and I couldn't handle it. People have all sorts of things, and they block this emotion. And so that emotion just builds on itself because it's energy. It has to go somewhere. And they say that it then manifests, like it can manifest physically in the body as dis-ease or whatever it might be. And yeah, I'm seeing the chat. Like, yeah, this stuff is fascinating. So here's the beautiful thing about yoga therapy is they say, okay, lay down and you just create space for the person, it's like partners. You create space for your partner to comfortably get into the body and start feeling. And, you just say, where do you have sensation? Like, where do you have constriction in your body? And sometimes you'll use a pose to like help people get more in touch with, their body. And you just allow people to witness that sensation. And it's fascinating, Ellie, because literally it's like, all I can say, it was like getting into the subconscious mind where all of a sudden that sensation was speaking to you. And it was saying like, this is fear, this is stubbornness, this is whatever it is. And, and then we were learning how to walk people through this. And my experience, guys, before we got on, I told Ellie, I said, I just had the most wild experience. I don't even have words for it. And he said, let's talk about it. So I got into a session, and, they say that in this, your mental body, so the mind, all the chatter, they want it to move aside so that your energy can move freely through your system. And the energy knows what it needs to do, and it can get rid of these blocks. So in one of my sessions, it was like the second day, energy took over my system completely. Like I couldn't move my arms. I felt more energy than I ever felt in my entire life. It felt like, and it also felt like somebody was pinning down my wrists, and it was the most incredible thing. And the teacher, Kamini, came over because she realized something was going on. It wasn't a normal session, like an entry level session, and what proceeded was like literally an hour of energy working through my system and finding like the root. I have my back on my left side has always been like a problem. And I literally visually saw a rock in my system. And then we worked with that rock. And I mean, what it came down to, it was like actually this little kid curled up in a ball. And that's what I saw. And then we started having a conversation with that, and it released in the most like profound way. Like I was literally coughing, like getting this energy out of me. And after that, my system was more wiped out than I've ever been in my life. It felt like I'd gotten into a fight. But I was like so at peace. And that peace hasn't left me. It was like this thing that's been holding me back for uh, most of my life, boom, it just crumbled away. And all it needed to do was be witnessed. And it was an absolutely like phenomenal feeling to be able to do that. And, having the context of which, like, I like how the yogis map things out to me. Like, I don't know, probably my analytical mind being a scientist. Like, I like that there's like a roadmap where they're telling me, like, this is what's going on and this is why. Um, but it was a phenomenal experience. And, I was so drained, but I also, like, I had my ASEA with me and I felt like it was helping me. Like, that was an emotional detox and also physical. And like, I felt that was assisting in the entire process of like just helping everything flush out and then also helping me activate what needed activating. It was, I don't know if those words really justify what happened, but that is my attempt at sharing, what happened in Iceland.
So beautiful. It's really just exquisite. And it's interesting because like the in Kabbalah they talk about five levels of the soul as well. So I think, that's what we're looking for is essential truth
Yeah.
that goes across all traditions.
Yep.
It's the same thing, and the highest one is pleasure.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yep. It's absolutely fascinating. I mean, I love studying these ancient teachings because, like, in our lives today, we're so focused on like the physical world and, all this external stuff. And I think, in ancient times, there was people dedicated to explore the inner world and the inner dimensions and help make sense of this life. And I think they landed on things that, we've forgotten or they've been almost like bastardized. Right. And, like yoga now to everybody means like stretching and like poses. And I'm like, that's not yoga. That's not the yoga that I've learned, like, it's totally different. But I'm grateful for people like yourself, people, like Comedy that are still bringing these teachings to light and helping people integrate them, into society now.
Yeah, it seems like to me that there was a concerted, conscious effort on the part of the evil ones to reduce all these teachings and really destroy our connection to the ancient world. And I mean, the more I look at Tartaria, the idea of Tartaria and Atlantis and Lemuria, we had very advanced free energy technology, spiritual communities, spiritual world, unity,
Mhm.
love, and the Satanists that just came here and just destroyed it, but now they're coming back. So it's I mean, now we're coming back because
Yep.
we are, but it, and I think this had to happen in a way because it has to come from us. It has to be us saying, okay, we want to be what we were. We want it can't just be like a gift. Anyway, that's just my, but yeah, so that's so beautiful. Yeah, I'd love to go to Iceland. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the country's amazing, and like it was so funny. There's like random tidbit about Iceland. When you're driving, if you are speeding or if you're going the speed limit, they on their signs like they have emojis. So like if you're going the speed limit, a like happy face flashes up. If you're going over the speed limit, you get like an angry face at you. And I was like, oh, I
Tell,
like.
tell us about the elves.
Yeah, so they believe, and I don't know too much about this. I've been like searching it more. This land is very new. Like literally, this is where the tectonic plates of like North America and Eurasia are like coming apart. So there's new Earth constantly being created, and you've got the Northern Lights there, and they say you're very like the veil's thin, like you're very connected in, and that beings live there, and elves are one that they believe live there. And like they were telling me a story. They were building one of the biggest roads, and this bulldozer kept breaking down. Like they couldn't get through. The elves live in like they're like these rocks with moss on top. Okay, that's what they say. These are like the homes that they go for. And they're building a road like through one of them, and like the bulldozer kept breaking. Like they couldn't get through. And then they finally brought in someone that speaks with these elves, whatever has that ability, and yeah, she said, no, like you need to go around. They're not going to let you through here. And so they go around, and they always honor these. And you'll see, like, you'll be driving and then there's like a curve in the road and it's like, oh, there you go. So yeah. And some people have little houses like for them. It's just like part of their society. And like, yeah, gnomes, right? It's like they it's just integrated in there like that. And I don't know. Interestingly, like the other piece of history of that country that like threw me off, their national park, beautiful scenery. And I was expecting like here in the US, our national parks, like talk about like the geology and they talk about nature. No, this was talking all about how they used to kill witches, like Drowning Pond and like Fire Gorge and like Hanging Rock and like all of these beautiful places were actually places where, these spiritually connected women used to be taken. Yeah, we're talking about Iceland for those in the chat asking.
Let me just get Jay is coming in. Let me just get Jay a minute. But hold that thought. I mean, this is so interesting, and that really corresponds with the whole idea of these bad. I don't know. I can't call them bad because that YouTube doesn't like that. But the Satanists destroying all spiritual knowledge and societies. Even I mean, I was married. My last wife was actually a witch. I mean, literally a witch. So I understand kind of a little bit about it. But anyway, okay, so let's hear from Jay. Jay, sorry, I'm sorry, Jay. We left Jay waiting.
Hey, put me back, man. I want to hear more about the gnomes. Put me back in the
I
groove.
know, Jay, we got on a tangent about my trip to Iceland.
No, it's not a tangent. That's the good stuff.
You guys can stick me back. Hey, Danielle, how are you?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks, Ellie. Hey, I want to let everybody know. Thanks for having me hang out and pop in throughout your shows. But Ellie, you've had such an amazing response to what's going on with the CS. So we need some help, everybody. So this is a help wanted, is what we're looking at right now. So because of Ellie's influence and getting the message out there, we're getting a lot of people inquiring about this. So here's a couple of incredible, like timing could work just amazing for the right people right now. So just if you can please feel me on this. We're looking for, I would say 2 people right now that can help with the overflow, because Ellie's getting a lot of people that are inquiring about the ASEA, and we need help in those helping them. So if you're interested in really building the ASEA side of this business, or if your first requirement, number 1 is you already got to be enrolled or you're about to enroll, so you're an ASEA associate, because that's how you will get paid. Okay. So Ellie's going to have the ability, at least at present right now, because we are getting a lot of influx, to be able to support the right people. And I encourage you, if it's on your radar to get into the business of something like this, then, I don't know if you could ask for a better scenario. You've got someone great here at the helm that's really driving the message home and creating a lot of activity. So right now, call me at that number that Ellie puts in there. Text me. We'll set up a time. Let's talk about it. 2 people, solid. Okay. So I'll tell you on the front end. So what we're not looking for is someone that says, well, maybe I'll give it a try. That's not what we want. We're looking for someone that says, okay, you know what? Wow, I've been waiting for something like this. You felt it. You're in. You want to go. And guess what? If you're that person, I'll work strategically with hopefully 2 of you, 1 to 2 of you. And help you get to the top on this, because this gentleman's got the activity right now that's really coming in. And again, so listen, it's a great time. And Ellie, again, you're always so giving about these things. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah. So here's the thing that I love about network marketing. I mean, it has a dirty word. Why does it have a dirty word? Probably the same reason the witches and the elves have a dirty word, because the dudes don't want it to go down. In order for me to become successful, I have to make somebody else successful. So that's an amazing model for the future. And it goes along with the unity consciousness. So I really thank you guys for giving me the opportunity, because like I know I'm fighting with Gug and Mugug, with Google and Microsoft and Metaverse, and they would love to take me down. But through this practice, I'm able to. All my bills are basically to Nepal. I want to pay the guys off in Nepal to make my videos and keep the message going. But my bills were paid by these network marketing companies. And the other thing is, we got to get I'm meeting people that are literally dying, man, literally dying from the things that the doctors do to them. It's like, hello world, we got health in a bottle, we got health in a patch, whatever it is. I mean, we got this. We're not promoting another supplement. We're not promoting this is huge. This could really change the world, like everything else we're doing. Anyway, I'm just it wouldn't have come into my It wouldn't have fallen into my lap. This whole thing fell into my lap. I did not go saying, "Oh, I want to do a network marketing business now." It just literally like Trump Castic, who I don't really know him. He said, "I want to do a meeting with you," and he was just like, I said, "Man, you look so young." I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I got this ASEA thing. Maybe you should check it out." And I went back and forth. I didn't jump in right away. I had some. I was talking to another guy about. I wasn't totally comfortable for some reason. I wasn't ready to jump in with Jay. I had this other guy I was talking to, and then I, through the course of events, I felt this other guy, and I said, "No, man, I got." And Gila said, "Man, what?" Because Gila met Jay, and she says, "This guy's a stand-up dude, man. You got to go with it." So anyway, I can't say enough good things about Jay. He's just amazing, and Danielle. They're amazing people, and I will be going to another ASEA thing. That's another thing. They have trips. I mean, I'm not in it for the trips. I don't really care where I go. I'm wherever I go, there I am. It doesn't really matter to me. I would like to go to Iceland. I would like to talk to the elves, man. I'd like to hang out with them for a little
Me
while.
too. I'd love to hang out with you. Hey, so all those ladies that are Ellie's fans, he's going to be on a trip to. You should go and see him there and stalk him there. It would be good for you to stalk him. Hey, I got to tell you something on a super serious note before I love and leave you. I tried that mask. That mask is amazing.
Yeah.
This morning, April put it on me.
It's great.
It's not like a clay. Like how you think about a clay mask, where it's a clay mask. Like you can barely. Like I was walking around, where I live, which is like an apartment place, and walking by people, and I had it on the whole time. Maybe they looked at me a little bit, but I was like, but it wasn't like a big thing, and it really does. It tightens you up really good. So anyway, but seriously, take this seriously, everybody. This could very well be your universe knocking on your door right now saying, here you go. This is exactly what you're waiting for. If it is, call a number. All right. Thanks, as always, for having me on, Danielle. It's good to see you. And Ellie, love you, brother. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. God bless.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Just to add on to what Jay said, guys, like if there are two of you looking for more, Jay is an amazing mentor, and being able to work with what Ellie's creating and be able to create for yourself, like you said it perfectly. Like you can't succeed unless you help other people succeed. And so two people that are looking to succeed, that are looking for something different, like now's the time. The stars are aligning for you. So reach out for sure.
And success, by the way, success. I'm just saying for me, because I'm not like, how did I get to be like this person, like this superstar, good looking, handsome, unbelievably charming dude. It's all persistence. I mean, I don't have anything. I don't believe that I have anything special. I mean, I don't think of myself that way. I just do this and do this and do this. I make a video. I've been making a video every day for years now. I mean, I would have to be very, very, very out of it to not make a video. I mean, I made videos when I had the COVID thing. I had it twice, and I made videos throughout the whole thing. Anyway,
you are consistent, man.
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Yes, indeed. Also, like Jay brought up something. That clay mask. Have you tried it? Did you get one?
I didn't get it yet. I rushed out I'm waiting patiently to get.
I just got mine in the mail yesterday. I literally it's sitting here, but it's so cute. And I know you and I, like last time I talked with you, we were talking about skincare, and then they came out with this, and I was like, time out. Like this is totally different because this has redox signaling in it. So it's like the Renew 28, except it also has what's called bentonite. It's like an ash that has been used by ancient civilizations for a long time to draw out impurities out of the skin. So this, like literally, you just put it on for like 10 minutes. It draws out what needs drawing out. It puts in the redox signaling, so you generate like cellular repair and renewal. And it's just in the US, and they're doing it like a trial. So if people like it, they'll keep it, but it's kind of like while supplies last. Anyway, so guys, this is new, and I'm a fan.
How long do you keep it on your face? I'm just curious.
Yeah. So the directions, I was reading this, they say 5 to 10 minutes. When I did it for 10 minutes. My boyfriend really liked it. He left it on longer because he was like, oh, this feels amazing. Because you literally feel it tightening. And then they say to use it 2 to 3 times a week. So this, and it doesn't require much, but this should last like a month. If you're using it 2 to 3 times a week, there's enough in here for a month's supply. And it like, it's like kind of brown. That's the bentonite. And then, you just rub it on and you can't really tell once you rub it on that it's there. It's hilarious to me that Jay was walking around with it on his face.
His skin looked really good today.
His skin did look good. I know. I noticed it when he came on. I was like, is this the lighting or like, what's going on? Yeah. No, ASEA, this like redox signaling, the blue and the white is the only thing that has the signaling molecules in it. And oh yeah, price point is that this is the same as the Renew 28. It's $40. Whoever's asking, Gypsy, it's $40 for the month for it, which is amazing. If you're buying it retail, it's $50. But you got to be in the US. It's not available in any other markets right now. This is like beta test. So if it goes well here, it will be available elsewhere. But they have some bundles too, where you can get like 2 of them and like a little brush to help like put it on. Yeah, they're doing some nice things with it. And I'd encourage everybody to grab it. If you have an account, if you're currently a customer or an associate, all you need to do is go into your account. It's teamasia.com. If you log in, you then can like go to your shopping cart and you can put this in your shopping cart as like a one-off order. If you're new and you want to try it out, you can get it in your first order.
I'm just going to pin that. Let me just, so everybody has it. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah, just call Jay.
Yeah, he can get you set up with the mask. And I mean, this to me is like one of the little things. To me, the blue bottle's the big thing. That is what helps your system. When I was in Iceland, it was like my body was so drained from what I went through. But drinking the ASEA, I mean, it felt like energy was being breathed back into me. And when I was listening to the way the yogis talk about the energy body and what it is, and that it's this light, I swear to you, Ellie, I feel like ASEA is light encoded in a way that our physical being can take it up, because it's just, I mean, we're talking about electron transfer, like reductants and oxidants. We're just talking about electrons moving, which is just energy moving. Like that's what is in there. And so when you drink it, it's like you're putting more energy, like that vital life force into the body. And how does it know what to do? How did my energy body know what to do? Like it released pain that I've had for, a couple decades. And I'm not that old, but I've had it there for a while, right? It was a little kid. But it's like that stuff is just incredible to put into and just keep that vitality of your system so that it can burst through anything that's in there. And, people say to me that they feel like they have a sense of well-being, that they're feeling better, that they're just, everything feels lighter. And I wonder if it's not just helping that system, the vital energy body, work through blocks so that people aren't feeling dragged down by energy blocks, by physical, the physical manifestation even of those energy blocks is disease, which we know, hey, any dis-ease in the body is just cells that are non-functional. And this gets the cells functioning. So it's, stuff got lit up in me last week. Like just understanding, but there's always so many more layers, right? It's like this onion that just keeps peeling back, and it's beautiful.
That's great. And Nirmala, are you still doing your broadcast with Nirmala?
So we started doing a ton together, and then she wanted to do some on her own, seeing if she could like handle not having she's talking to a computer has been so out of her comfort zone. So I pushed her. I was like, we'll do it together. And then we did it for a while. And I'm like, try it on your own. See how you do. So she's trying that.
Because Nirmala sees the geometry in the
Right.
in the ASEA product. I mean, she's able to. She said, "Wow,
I'll never forget the first time she took it, because she called me and she said, Danielle, I drank 2 ounces. And she was like, do you have any idea what this stuff is? And I was like, from a biological standpoint, yes. I said, from your level of conscious awareness, no. And she said, 2 things that I'll never forget. She said, it's literally shifting my cells from a carbon state to a crystalline state. And she said that crystalline state, those crystals activate the crystals in your pineal gland, which help your connection, to source. And the second thing she said was that it was coming in, and she said, when there's a lot of density, like she sees it as like black, like they're very carbon based. And she said, I was watching this like wipe through that. It was like almost like a mist coming in and just turning those areas into like this crystalline energy, crystalline state. And she said, it's no wonder you see what you see. Like, this is the state infants are in when they come onto this earth. And, we know the vitality of an infant. And she said, yeah, like this is absolutely amazing. So I wish I could see things the way she does, but I can't. But I can feel them. So she's got the words for it.
She's amazing. I mean, this whole trip is so, like, everything just sort of comes. It's divine. I think once you get into the sort of like God thought stream, into this like positive energy, that it just keeps bringing you, your thoughts just keep manifesting around you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's beautiful. And I think, when you're around other people that are of like mind, that's one thing that I've loved about being part of the ASEA community, is meeting people like yourself, like Jay, like Nirmala, so many others that are on their spiritual journey, are on, this human journey that we have, trying to figure it out. And they're connecting with the right things, that, like, wow, this is meant to help open up humanity. As you said, this is like, it's like a trifecta with, financial, physical, and spiritual health. Like, this to me it's all of that. And we have a community where we work together. I mean, the fact that Jay is asking for 2 people that he can help train up, that can help support you, you can help support them. Like that's a win-win. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. Like, I've always been an athlete, so I love sports, and team sports are always wonderful because you're pushing for your best so that the collective can do well. And that's the same that it is in network marketing. It's the same that it is in ASEA. It's like we're collectively working together, and your success is my success, and my success is your success. And it's like, it's beautiful. And to know that we're doing it with a cutting edge breakthrough that's literally helping humanity. It's helping people live their best life, release things, get more vital energy into their system so they can show up more fully in their relationships, at work, like all of those things. And then, also look better because that doesn't hurt. I'm reading, well, it's not over here. I'm reading one of Wayne Dyer's books. I started a book club called The Power of Intention. And he talks about as he sees it, the 7 faces of intention, which for him, it's like what the yogis call source, like it's God, it's the divine. Like, he says, what does it look like? And, he talks about the 7 faces, if I can remember. It's like, one is creativity, one is kindness, one is love, one is beauty, one is expansion, one is the ability to receive, and the other is abundance. And those are the 7 faces. And he says, if you want to connect in with your source, what he calls intention, more, you need to emanate those 7 things. And beauty is one of them. And I think, of course, like, you look at nature's beautiful. And like, I feel if you take care of your home, right, it feels more beautiful. Like, you talk to me about, like, sometimes during the year, you clean everything. Like, that's just part of the ritual. And, the same with yourself. Take care of the outer appearance. You look at yourself in the mirror, you feel different. Dress up sometimes, right? You feel different. Dress comfortably. We were joking about your shirts. Like, get your shirts that make you feel good. I don't care if they're the same color, Ellie. I love them. So whatever makes you feel good. There was somebody joking about it in the chat too. But I think that those 7 faces were really interesting, to look at. But and beauty, like, sort of surprised me. And then I said, no, it makes sense. Like, we appreciate the beauty in things. And I think people need to, first of all, receive and acknowledge that, hey, they too can shine and be beautiful. And it's not okay. It's not like self-absorbed. It's okay to, focus on those. It's not about being vain. It's just, presenting your best self and helping you feel like your best.
Amazing that there's 7 midos in Kabbalah. There are 10 spheros, but there's 7 midos, which means 10 aspects of godliness. 7. Oh. And between Passover and Shavuos, when we receive the Torah, we count our spheros. We count our emotional attributes. And beauty is called Tiferes, is right in the middle. And what is beauty? The definition of beauty is that it combines all opposites. It can take opposites and put them together.
Yes. Oh, that was oh my gosh, this was a huge piece of the training last week. So we were talking about this idea of like unity, like think of a circle and think about the yin yang. You know, you've got the black going into the white and like this polarity, right? Because we have dark and light, we have love and hate, we have up, down, positive, negative, and it's the wholeness. It's when you put them together that you can appreciate one for the other. You know, you need both if you didn't have them. And what we talked about was that in our world, our human mind pulls them apart and chooses and says, this is better than this. You know, we get this us versus them. We want pleasure. We don't want pain. And when we do that, we live in duality. And that's where all of the problems are. Like, that's where we just get in conflict with ourselves, with the world, with everything. But if we can just come back to the center, the beauty of knowing this is all part of the whole. And when they're together, you know, you can just love and appreciate what it is and see the beauty in both. And yeah, wow.
So beautiful. And one other thing I wanted to add, and this comes from my muse, Gila. I don't know, Gila, if you're here, I would love for you to come on. But Gila says that just like the Satanists took our money and put us into this like difficult financial situation, that we will be redeemed through abundance and money.
Yeah, well, it would make sense. It would have to be, right? Because that's how it goes. It's like the dark night of the soul. You go through this really intensity, like what seems like bad times. It's darkness. It turns into light. It has to. Gila's here.
Gila, can you come on and expand on that thought? Well, I mean, I want to end it pretty soon. I just want to get some. I need to eat something before the next broadcast, but we're not in a rush. Gila, if you want to come on and explain, because Gila really put it just so beautifully. If you're there, I don't know, no pressure, but yeah, just a thought that, and you know, it's interesting because I heard yesterday one of my one of the people that there are a lot of people in the community that are really smart and really like observant and on the inside of things that were, you know, and she was saying, I think she was saying that one of the things that the enemy, that the Satan hates, they have a thing in their main place that says, weave no webs here, meaning you can't bring things together in our world. Everything is separate. That was one thing. And they also say that the pendulum has to swing in both directions. So when they put their people in power, in other words, they will have a Democrat and a Republican. They will have both sides. They know that people are going to swing back and forth. So they have their evil ones positioned on both sides of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty weird.
It's interesting. You know, I don't know, for myself, like there's so much happening out in this world, but I feel like if you master your inner dimensions and you can, it's self-mastery, right? And you can learn what you need to learn and you can accept the whole, you can see all of these things. I feel as though that ripples out because you hold a higher vibration, and higher vibrations always negate a lower vibration. It's like, how do you get rid of darkness? You just shine light, period. You don't need to like lurk in the darkness. You just shine light. And that's why I feel like if people just keep working on themselves, they keep exploring whatever resonates with them, you know, because there's truth to it all. Like you and I realize there's so much parallels between what you and I both study. And when you can hold that space, it will just help lift everything. So I don't know. I hate when people get like in despair out of what's going on externally. And I'm like, stop, like go into your internal world, hold that space, and you will shift things.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's exactly what this channel really is about, is that we can make a huge difference just by changing ourselves. It's that simple. Just by really changing your thoughts, just by thinking positive and realizing that you have a divine purpose. You're not here, you know, you're not an accident. You're not a random, you know, birth. It's just God wanted you here right now, and it's good.
Yeah, and at this time for a reason. And take care of yourselves. Like the biggest thing, like, well, what I learned last week, right? Pay attention to what your body's saying to you. Because if you're not in good physical health, you cannot do the spiritual work. The mental, emotional, spiritual side of life is going to feel a little bit harder when your physical body isn't well. And, you know, that's why, I mean, for me, it's the redox, like keeping that in my system, keeping my vitality there, keeping any dis-ease out of my system so that I can be a channel, that, you know, my energy can flow freely and I can connect in and I can hold a higher vibration. for myself and for those around me. I think it's key. And I mean, I was on a journey of finding things for my health, and I didn't come across anything quite as unique as the redox. You know, good nutrition is key, right? Exercise, all these things, but being able to support the vitality of your system, to get the communication high, to allow your system to do what it was designed to do, what it did when it was an infant, like that is phenomenal. To be able to live with that youth, you know, and now have the wisdom of the years that life has, you know, given us, it's phenomenal. So, you know, for those of you that haven't stuck your toe in and haven't tried it, I'd really encourage you to get the redox and see, you know, what it can bring your system. If it's resonating, if you're feeling like you need something, like Ellie's experienced it, I've experienced, there's another level out there to what your health can feel like, and it will open you up. Just like Nirmala said, like activating the pineal gland is going to open you up to so much more, but that thing gets calcified. Like there's so much that's getting in the way of that really working. So how do you open it? You know, this is a really powerful way. Like so many of us are feeling that is what's happening when we're drinking it. Once we get, you know, all the other physical stuff out of the way, that is the next place where it seems to start working.
Yeah, I know for me, it's just like, it's all about concentration. Like I was able to make 2 videos a day, 3 videos a day, but the time in between was just like, you know, I was just a basket case. But now with, you know, with drinking a Cia, I'm just like, you know, I still need a little time on the beach. I need a time that's not where I'm not really thinking about so much about what I'm doing, but I'm much more productive and much more focused than I used to be.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. I don't know. I'm like 8 years into it, right? And I think you're like six months? I don't know how long it's been, but I'm like, just get ready. It just keeps getting better. So
Cool. So yeah, if you haven't called Jay, you know, contact Jay if you're into it. No pressure, you know, don't feel pressured. But yeah, I think any burning questions? Anyone? I didn't really watch the questions so much. I don't know if anybody has any burning questions.
we were talking a lot about elves and gnomes and all of that. In Ireland, they have little people too. Yeah, they have leprechauns. So
real.
I think
they're real.
Yeah. No, the chat was mostly about our conversation with about Iceland.
All right, so we will let's call it a day, and I'm going to see you in Mexico.
I won't be there. No, you're not going to see me. You get to hang out with Dr. Hoffman though.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and there's a couple of other people going that I'll connect you in with them.
I feel I should go. I mean, I thought, you know, I should go, and they're so nice to me. They're, you know, with the food, and the food won't be an issue this time, and it's just
yeah.
You know,
it's gonna be wonderful. Soak it in. I mean, it's a beautiful facility. You've got the ocean right there. The beach is you'll still have your beach. And just you'll get to meet really cool people. And I would encourage you, like, if there's people you enjoy, they'll come on the show and talk. Like, they're just the most amazing human beings are connected in with this company. And you'll get to go meet them all.
And just an aside, I haven't officially. I have room. I can take another person for a free trip to Mexico. So if one of those people that, you know, wants to start in the business wants to tag along, it's all free food and everything else. Free. I think they pay back for even the air flight. I can't finance the air flight because my cash flow is not so great. But if anybody, you know, really has a burning desire to come along with me, and, you know, being with with a real superstar, you know, I'm probably going to be making videos the whole time. I kind of envision it's like I'm going to come out and swim a little bit. I'd love to see the sun and swim, but you can't stay out in the sun too long in that place.
No, you can't. But the facility is really nice. Like, there's places to hang out and just like kind of talk with people, and lots of different things to kind of explore. So yeah, you'll enjoy it. And guys, what a phenomenal offer, Allie. You're like such a giver. What a beautiful thing to offer for someone to come.
I can't take both flights. I mean, I can't. I got a trip for 2, and I'm only one. I've been begging every woman I meet. I'm begging her, like, please, let's go. And so far, it's been no. I can't. You know. So, you know, I'm not giving up.
Hey, keep it up. Someone will be spontaneous. Someone will say yes.
Something will happen. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, Danielle, and God bless everyone. And yeah.
Thanks for having me on, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.